All right, guys, in this video, we're going over the top 5 hacks for center midfield players. If you play the central midfield position, make sure you're keeping these in mind and you're working on them so that you're standing out in this position. That's coming up next. When I'm busy doing totally legitimate things, I rely on OneFootball to give me all the news stories, fixtures, results, and more from the world of football. Download it for free today. All right, guys, so the first one is you need to master 1 and 2 touch passing. I go over this a lot, but it's so essential. In the center of the park, it's very congested at times, and one of the things you want to be able to do is play quickly and also keep the ball moving, keep the momentum going so that you can do things quicker. So, all right, guys, so you want to make sure you're practicing this 1 and 2 touch with a partner, just making sure you're doing nice little passes, pass and move, you know, making sure you're doing it quickly, getting into the open space, because this is one of the most essential things that you're going to learn as a midfield player. Because 2 things. 1, if you're taking multiple touches, you're in here doing, you know, silly things. Not only are you more likely to lose it, but if there was open space for someone or a chance to counter or an opening, you're not going to be able to do it because you're playing too slow. The other point of it is you need to pass and move. If I pass here and just stand still, you know, and I'm just going like this, let's say Than gets the ball, or let's say I get the ball and Than doesn't move, and I have 2 guys around me and the guy's covering him. Well, now that he hasn't moved into the space which is available, I'm now in trouble. I got people around me. I got to find a way out where if he was able to just move there, I could play into the open space. I can make myself available, you know, so you need to make sure that you're passing and moving when you're working on this. All right, guys, hack number 2 is you need to learn to turn. And the amount of players who play in the center who I see aren't able to do this effectively always blows me away, because if you have space behind you that you can exploit, you need to be able to get into that space quickly. And if your back is turned, you need to be able to turn quickly. So if the ball's played into me, into that space, and immediately start driving into it. You know, either to break a press that the other team has on you, or if they're just leaving you wide open. Knowing how to do different turns. You play it into me, maybe you do a Lallana turn and you turn into space. But you need to get good at turning into space. Or even turning when a defender's on you. Maybe I'm shielding the ball here and I know that I can turn him out this way. You just want to make sure you're mastering the art of turning in football as a center mid, because it's going to open so many more opportunities and doors for you. The horse agrees. And I'm going to put a video up top that you can watch that teaches you 4 different turns. And again, if you're a center mid, master this, because you're limiting your game if you're not. Guys, third hack is find pockets of space. Now, we talked about passing and moving, but you're not passing and moving in just a random way. You want to make sure when you're passing, when you're moving, when you don't have the ball, whether that means you just passed it or you haven't had it for a while, you need to find the pockets of space to make yourself available, whether that's between the defensive and midfield line, or that's just receiving the ball from one of your center backs to then start the play. You need to make sure you're always kind of roaming around, looking for those pockets of space, and then when you see it, to exploit it. So let's say I see it right here, you know, I'm going to move into it, call for the ball, maybe turn into the space and quickly exploit it. But when you notice those pockets of space, those passing lanes for which you can receive the ball, you need to exploit it. You need to get yourself in it, because again, if I'm just kind of going around like this, I'm so easy to mark. But if I see the pocket and I'm like, yeah, and I then exploit the space, that's just going to make me a much more effective midfield player. I'm going to be able to set up more stuff. I'm going to be able to give my teammates an outlet. Make sure you're passing and moving and finding those pockets so you can actually do some damage. All right, guys, hack number 4, guys, is try that killer ball. The amount of times I see midfielders get near the 18-yard box or in a position where they can actually try something and they shy away is too many times to count. You know, I've played with so many players, or against them even, as I'm on the other team, where they'll be in this space and they'll drive, and then their player will make the run, and then they'll just turn around or play safe. So make sure you're trying that killer ball, so when your teammate makes that run quickly, you're putting him in on goal. You know, as a center mid player, you can go, camera. As a center mid player, you know, you're not just a guy who's, you know, getting the ball from the defense and passing it sideways and passing it backwards. You are there to also play an attacking role unless stated otherwise by your coach. So if you get it here, let's say you've done the other things I've told you in this video, you found a pocket of space, it's played into you, you've mastered your turning, you turn and immediately your striker makes the run, try that through ball. Take some risk, because again, if you're a midfield player who has 0 goals, 0 assists, you're not even trying to be dangerous, you're like every other average center midfield player on the park. Every single good center mid chips in with goals, assists, and they're dangerous. You look at the David Silvas, you look at the Gerrards when he was playing, you look at the Kevin De Bruyne. You know, they're not just guys who can link up the play, who play simple. They're the guys who can turn, beat a guy, put their striker in real quick. You know, they can do those things as well. So make sure you're expressing yourself and you're trying those killer balls. All right, guys, and the final one, I kind of just mentioned it at the end there, was express yourself. This position, you need to be a little, I wonder if they can hear that. This position, you need to be disciplined in the sense that, yeah, you're going to be playing a lot of 1-2 touch, passing and moving, but you also need to express yourself. Again, if you want to be a standout center mid, you want to be that guy who's chipping in with the goals, assists, the important key passes, you know, is the guy where at the end of the game, people are going like, he ran the show. You need to be able to express yourself. That means trying the killer ball. That means getting into the pockets of space. That means having a few skill moves up your sleeve that you can use to beat opponents. That means being able to shoot the ball and score on your own. Again, it's great to be a tidy 1-2 touch center midfield player, and there is definitely a place for that, but you want to have something else about your game. You need it. So let's say your teammate makes the run and he's blocked and maybe it's your chance to go at goal. You need to be able to make it so you can shoot, so you can score. So make sure you're expressing yourself, you're confident, and you're not shying away from actually doing things that have an element of risk to them. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you check out the other videos I put up on screen. As always, make sure you're practicing this so you're getting better at it, and I will see you in the next video.